Hey, it's Kelly. Welcome back to my channel where we talk about gentle skincare, sometimes self-care, and today we're talking breakouts and hyperpigmentation. I just jumped out of the shower, obviously, and I wanted to show you this routine that has been working for me as I've been going through a rough spot with my skin lately. I've been having some hormonal breakouts on my chin, pretty bad for my skin right now, and I honestly felt like I didn't want to show my face on camera until I got everything healed, but then the other part of me was like, no, show your face on camera. This is real life. This is real skin. And this is what sometimes happens. And not only do I want to show you that, but I also want to share with you not only the products, but I always like to teach the steps, the ways of thinking about treating your skin. So I want to share with you the products and also the method of how I've been treating not only the pimples and breakouts, but also how I am helping to fade that hyperpigmentation faster. So if you're so ready, give the video a big thumbs up and let's jump into this routine. So I already washed my face in the shower with the Cetaphil Gentle Skin Cleanser. I keep this one in my shower. I love the pump. It's just nice so you don't have like a slippery bottle, right? But it's a really gentle, straightforward type of cleanser. And I use this a lot in the morning, but I also use it when I have to shower like in the middle of the afternoon and do like 3 skincare routines that day. I really like this cleanser because it's effective, but it's very skin respective. Moving right along to the Missha, the First Essence 5X. My skin is starting to get a little parched, so I need to get some hydration on here. And that's exactly why I have been starting off all of my routines over the last couple of weeks with this product. It is a really nice boost of hydration prior to any like toners and serums. It's very barrier supportive as well, which is important when you're going through the cycle of inflammation and pimples. You want to keep your barrier strong, so that helps to encourage faster healing on your skin. Your barrier is the root of all healthy skin, right? But the fermented ingredients in here also have a really beautiful brightening effect for the skin too. And so this is kind of that first layer of tackling all this hyperpigmentation. You can't miss it, right? It is a really nice, like I say, a booster type of product. This is the by Wishtrend Propolis Energy Boosting Essence, and I do not have very much left, but this has been really beneficial for the current state of my skin. So when I was like really actively breaking out, like new pimples were coming up every day, this is when I grabbed this and added this into my routine, and I noticed a difference. Not only did this help take down the swelling and the inflammation, but it seemed like it was actively encouraging that healing as well, and it really helped calm my skin. But I think it has a really beautiful clarifying effect because they do use, I call it a salicylic acid cousin, which is willow bark. I believe there's about 10% in this essence. And so it's actually very suitable for me to use 2 times a day with my very sensitive skin that I treat with tretinoin, right? It's hard for me to use a lot of salicylic acid, but this gentler version has a similar clarifying and anti-inflammatory effect. So as you can see, it does have a watery type of texture. There's just a little bit of slip in here, just the tiniest little kiss of moisture. And I'll be honest with you, I've been playing around with the order of where I put this in my skincare routine, because I'm going to do another hydrating toner after this. And so sometimes I put this before that, sometimes I put it after. Honestly, play around and see what works for you. There are I know there's all kinds of videos on YouTube about the rules of skincare, but quite honestly, there are actually very few rules. And I think a lot of times we should be following what feels good for us and our skin. And so for me, it feels good to put this on right after that boosting product. I like to have it close to my skin for the anti-inflammatory effect, make sure it really gets in there and does what it needs to do. So this is the Kombu Balancing Ampule Toner from KAINE, and this has a good quantity of fermented tea in it. And tea is really one of my favorite anti-inflammatory ingredients, right alongside of propolis. It really does help to take down the redness and swelling. It really helps to take all of that down, promote healing, and again, promote healthy skin. There's a lot of polyphenol content in here, antioxidant activity in here that promotes healthy skin. And I do find when I am going through, like I said, a tough time, like I don't feel super great about the state of my skin right now, although I do see it improving, so I feel good about that. But, you know, it can be a little bit vulnerable to show your bare skin when you feel like it's not in its best state. I will say, when you do have active pimples or active dark marks on your skin, if the rest of your complexion is glowing and healthy, lit from within, a lot of times people aren't actually keying in on all the little things that we're seeing in the mirror, right? They're taking in the whole picture and they're seeing really healthy, glowy skin. Sure, maybe there's some hyperpigmentation, maybe there's some pimples, but there is a healthy glow that is coming out from within, and I think people really seem to see that. So I just applied my second layer of toner. I usually do 2 layers of this toner, especially because I built in a lot more hydration with the Missha and with the Wishtrend essences. But hydration is another key part of all of my skincare routines, but especially when I'm trying to encourage healthy, glowy skin, especially when I'm trying to encourage my skin to calm down, when I'm encouraging skin healing. Making sure that your skin is coming from a really good hydrated spot is really foundational. So let's talk treatments, right? I have done a lot of foundational prep stuff with lots of hydration, barrier support, anti-inflammatory types of ingredients, and don't discount those steps. They really do help. However, I know you're interested in the treatment part of things, right? So first of all, I will show you my tretinoin. I am back to using agency. So this is a compound formula. So there is 0.05% of tretinoin in here, as well as 5% of azelaic acid, which is another great pore unclogging ingredient, and it also helps to reduce inflammation and redness while also bringing a brightening effect to the skin. So that mirrors a lot of the benefits of tretinoin beyond just the collagen stimulation, right? But it also has 5% of tranexamic acid, and this is a really important brightener. I think especially if you have a skin tone like mine with just a little bit more melanin in it, and you get that melanin response when you get inflammation. So if you get this dark mark, right, after a pimple, not red, dark, tranexamic acid. You need this ingredient. It is such an amazing brightener for this specific situation, for this specific skin melanin response. It's also good for sun damage, melasma. It's just really good at targeting stubborn hyperpigmentation. And then there's also, I think, 4% of niacinamide, another great brightener, a good, well-aging ingredient. So I use this. I kind of go back and forth between 3 to 4 nights a week. It just depends on where my skin is at. I will apply this actually a little later. I'll put it later in the routine, but I wanted to talk about this now because this is really a fundamental treatment product that I'm always using to prevent breakouts, treat the ones that I'm getting, right? Been using that for about 4 years. I almost said 5. 4 years now. So doing really great with that. However, when things kind of go into overgear, you do need to add in some other things. So what have I done already? I've added in the willow bark. That's something that suits my particular skin well. You may think about adding in something like a BHA, a salicylic acid, something a little bit stronger if you need it. This is the by Wishtrend Energy Calming Ampule. So I've been using this serum right here, right after toner, right, in my morning routines mostly. I like this. There's no exfoliating ingredients in here, but there's something about that Propolis, that anti-inflammatory ingredient, especially this formula because it's propolis and heart leaf extract. Another amazing ingredient for soothing and clarifying the skin without a very harsh astringent effect on skin. So this is a very gentle serum. I can use this morning and nighttime. It is not stripping. It's actually quite moisturizing gel texture. There's also some zinc PCA in here, which contributes to the hydration, but it also has a nice oil balancing property to it. And as I mentioned, part of the reason why I got stuck in this cycle of breakouts is because my skin was slightly overproducing oil. Let me just show you the texture, because I said it's kind of a moisturizing gel texture. So you see lots of body here, but it does spread and absorb really nicely. And there's just a little bit of slip, but it actually has like a little bit of a plumping, a hydrating, and then just a kiss of moisture at the top that feels so good. And this is really the key. I've been using these products very reliably for quite a few years now. You've heard me talk about them. This pair is really powerful for sensitive skin and breakouts. A lot of this stuff I've already been using, but when I added these in, I felt like things started moving along a lot faster. So don't discount the gentle products, especially if you have a skin type like mine. However, something that I recently added in that I just kind of wanted to start testing it out and playing around with, but I was actually really surprised at how fast it started to brighten my skin, is the HaruHaru Wonder Centella 4% Tranexamic Acid Dark Spot Go Away Serum. So this is something that I've been slotting into my nighttime routines when I'm not using tretinoin. So as I mentioned, I use that 3, sometimes 4 nights a week. The other nights I am using this, but this morning I wanted to actually show you this serum. So I'm going to use it this morning as well. You could use it in the morning. There's no reason why you can't. This is what works for me. And you could certainly use it every day, morning and nighttime if you want to. It's just all about how your skin feels, right? So it has this gel texture that actually, you know, it's hydrating, but it actually spreads out a lot thinner than it first looks and just kind of like melts into the skin really nicely. It plays alongside of other products really well because it doesn't bring like a lot of heft or moisture, but it really is a beautiful treatment serum. So 4% of tranexamic acid in here. There's also some Centella, another beautiful anti-inflammatory ingredient that promotes healing. And then there's also just a kiss of vitamin C in here. That's been a real trend in K-beauty, is just put a little bit of vitamin C in skincare products. I haven't had any issues with it. It's such a small amount of ascorbic acid. So I just apply this to my full face because I'll take all that anti-inflammatory brightening that I can get. You could just spot treat with this if you wanted to too. 4% of tranexamic acid is a very good, very effective amount. Now, this is not an exfoliating acid. I know when you hear the word acid, sometimes you think, oh my gosh, it's exfoliating my skin. It's not. It's a melanin inhibitor. It helps to treat the dark spots that you already have. But what I love about this ingredient, as you keep it in your skincare routine, which I do with this guy, right? I love that compound formula. It makes things so much less complicated, right? If you keep it in your routine steadily, it actually is an ingredient that helps to protect your skin from creating more dark spots in the future. So it's a preventative type of ingredient as well as an active brightener. I'm just making sure I get it on this one. So this is the DamDam Matcha Boost Eye Serum. Still chugging along with this one. You saw it in my last skincare routine when I was traveling in Chicago. Still using this one. I really like it. Matcha, green tea, right? Very concentrated green tea. So very potent antioxidant and anti-inflammatory ingredient. What I was going to say though, as this sinks in was, you know, I was saying, oh, I feel a little vulnerable when my skin's not in a good state to show it. Like, you know, there's nowhere to hide, right? This is bare skin. But I was looking in the mirror last night and I was like, wait, what happened? Because I was planning this video, right, to do it this morning. And I was like, my skin looks so much better than even just a few days ago. Like, you know, obviously I still have a ways to go, but like what happened? All of the angry redness is gone. The active acne has actually cleared up. I don't have anything active on my face right now. This is all just hyperpigmentation. There's a little bit still here. And I'll show you what I'm going to do for that in a second. But everything, it's so tiny and it has gone down in size quite a bit. Everything else is like, I feel like knock on wood, right? Everything else I think has finally cleared out. And I think that this routine, it really has been suiting me. So that's why I was like, yeah, I feel a little vulnerable, but like I have to share what's been working. So these are the Differin acne patches. Now these are so cool. I am absolutely in love with these because these are not pimple patches that suck the juice, right? That absorb all the liquid out of your pimple, but these are actually treatment patches that have concentrations of Centella, salicylic acid, as well as heart leaf in them. And I've already kind of covered, those are some of my favorite ingredients for helping to calm down pimples. So with the salicylic acid in here, that's going to be an exfoliating acid that dives into my pore to help with just this little bit of inflammation. There it is. Look at that patch. You can't see it. Maybe a little, catches the light, but it's a little bit matte on top. It's super thin. and it's just delivering all of that good anti-inflammatory, pore unclogging treatment right into the pimple. And so this is also another good tip for those with sensitive skin that can't handle too much in one routine. Spot treat, right? This is a great spot treatment. It's also going to keep that area covered. So I'm going in for Stratia Lipid Gold as well as the ordinary bee oil. Sometimes I skip out on Lipid Gold in the morning, especially when it is starting to get warmer. I am opting to use it today just because, as I mentioned, like it's getting better, but I was getting some peely skin around my chin from the breakouts. And so this is a formula that's really emollient. It's got some great moisture in it, and it really does promote healing and barrier strengthening. And it just feels like that's what my skin needs right now. So I'm going to do a pump of that. And then I'm going to do just a few drops of the oil, which is also a nice barrier supportive type of oil. And all of this emolliency really suits my skin. It's not going to be for everybody. This isn't necessarily a big part of the acne treatment routine. This is just kind of something that I've been doing for my skin for years that really works. And this is the Illiyoon Ceramide 8-0 Concentrate Cream. Again, another choice that maybe wouldn't be my go-to right at this moment seasonally. I do have very little left in the bottle, so I am just kind of working on emptying it. But again, I do feel like my skin just needs a little bit more nourishment as it's in that mending and healing process. And it's not too heavy right now for me. My skin has been accepting it really, really well. So just kind of take that into consideration when you're building out your routine. If you're unfortunately going through this cycle as well, take into consideration what your skin is craving, what it's needing, but also obviously the season as well. You can see it is almost empty, so just in time. I love how this feels. So you can see that the Lipid Gold and the oil actually create this really beautiful glow effect for my skin. That nice moist glisten. Oil can be a really great way to get that kind of look in your skincare routine. And I have to say that Differin patch is really good at adhering to the skin because it is not like lifting up at the edges. It's not picking up with all that oil and all of that cream. It's actually just staying on the skin super nicely. So sunscreen, super important in any, morning skincare routine, right? However, I really do want to emphasize that it is important for these specific things that we're trying to treat today with the routine. The inflammation, the acne, and the hyperpigmentation, right? Obviously, the sunscreen is going to protect the progress that I'm making with the hyperpigmentation, right? With all the brightening ingredients. If you go out in the sun unprotected, those dark areas are going to continue to take on melanin and get darker. And it's going to push your progress back. So you really want to protect those areas with UV filters, right? But it actually is a important part of this routine as well because it helps to reduce inflammation. The sun actually creates damage-inducing inflammation in our skin, and that's how it damages collagen and elastin. But it can also, like I said, increase inflammation overall. And the whole goal of this routine is to get that inflammation down, and that's going to lessen the hyperpigmentation, but it's also going to lessen the look of the pimples. So we just don't want to introduce any unnecessary inflammation. We did so much anti-inflammatory ingredients, and truly sunscreen is one of them. So this is the Skin 1004 Hyalu-Cica sunscreen. You've seen this, it's boring. I'm sorry I don't have anything new to show you, but the thing is, when my skin is like this, I'm not really looking to introduce a lot of new stuff. The HaruHaru was an experiment. It paid off for me, but I've actually been testing a lot of new sunscreens, and yeah, I just want to go to what I know. I'm not going to be spending a lot of time outside today, so this is a great casual, everyday type of sunscreen that feels really comfortable. And now going in for the neck. Never forget the neck, super important. I usually treat my neck with skincare as part of my body care routine, which I did off camera. Right after I got out of the shower, I do just really simple, some exfoliating toner for my chest. Sometimes I'll do a serum and then just cream. And of course, sunscreen. And that, my friends, is it. You can see that there's a really heavy emphasis on anti-inflammatory ingredients. We have the tea, we have the Propolis, there's Centella, there's heart leaf. Those ingredients really help to reduce the redness and the inflammation and the look of the breakouts. There was an emphasis on hydrating the skin and really strengthening out the barrier to support that healing, but also an emphasis on the treatment, right? The pore unclogging ingredients like the willow bark extract, which is a really nice gentle, sensitive skin alternative to salicylic acid, but also directly treating those areas with salicylic acid, that pore unclogging ingredient with the Differin acne patch. But then also keeping with that steady routine of pore unclogging ingredients as well, like tretinoin, which is a retinoid, as well as the azelaic acid, and then building in the brightening wherever we can. Anti-inflammatory ingredients will contribute. They're a booster to brightening the skin because they take down all that redness, right? But tranexamic acid, if you have the dark marks, don't mess around. Use this ingredient. It will help. So a heavy emphasis on that particular ingredient to brighten my skin, but also some niacinamide built throughout the routine as well. And we have to protect all of that progress, not only by keeping the skin nice and moisturized, but also using sunscreen. So I hope you enjoyed that skincare routine. I'm really glad that I shared it with you. And if it was helpful for you, remember to give the video a big thumbs up, but also hit subscribe if you haven't already, if you want to get more skincare and more of me on your YouTube feed. Thanks for being here with me. I love you so much, and I'm ready to go start my day and dry my hair. I'll see you in the next video. Hope you're healthy, happy, and safe. Bye.